man, I love us.
It's a great
Is there
city.
stuff to work on? Is there stuff that we have to process? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to end is like, what do you think, like, quickly?
You're like, hurry up, man.
No. Where do we do better?
Say it again.
Where do we do better as a city?
Where do we do better?
Well, you need some new tires? Go to M&M in Cahokia. What are you trying to plan for your kids' future, your retirement and stuff, to protect your money? Talk to my little brother, Aaron Bachman. We trying to drink some beers or like some other non-alcoholic stuff? Talk to Four Hands. We try to grow some fire weed at home. Talk to Tree 14. We try to protect your business assets. Talk to Chris Sullivan, Powers Insurance. So what's your name? Who are you?
I'm Jordan Franks. Jack Salsa is my business name, my family name. For anybody who needs to know, Jack's, Jordan, Alex, Carter, Kinley. All of our family names.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, man.
That's first names?
Yes.
Yeah. I get it. I thought you were saying family name like last name.
No.
Yeah, no, and I just realized that. I
know.
saw a Jack's post, and you guys were on vacation. Where'd you go?
We went to Key West.
Tight.
Dude, it was great, man.
Yeah.
Finally flew for the first time in a year and a half.
You're scared?
No.
Yeah.
No, and I didn't get to have a drink on the plane, so I had to find some natural relaxation. But it was okay, you know. I mean, we've been very COVID cautious, honestly. In the house, kids have been, kind of locked in. Daughter's in school though, so that's cool. But everybody else, we're just, we were playing the cautious game.
Yeah.
And we stayed COVID free, so life was good.
I remember hearing about like in the neighborhood, somebody's like, "You heard of Jack Salsa? They're on Facebook selling stuff," and I was like, "No, I haven't." I think this is like at the beginning of COVID.
It was probably September, man.
Okay.
We didn't really get going until September 2020.
Yeah,
Literally, like COVID was like what, January.
January kicked off.
That's
February.
right. Yeah, we thought of the idea back in, I want to say July, for 3 months, because we're like, oh, salsa, who cares about that? Whatever.
Why salsa though?
It's random.
Right on.
It's super random, dude. I mean, we were in the house and we were hungry. And, that's when everybody was going really crazy over in the grocery stores, right? Just buying up everything. And, it was, so we went and I think one day, we went to this food pantry for my grandmother. We went there because they were giving out all kind of stuff, and we went for her, and she didn't want the tomatoes in the box. So she was like, "Here, take these darn tomatoes." So I was like, "Okay, whatever." And you know what? You know what's funny? I don't like tomatoes that much.
All right.
Which is weird, right? So my wife made this salsa, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, holy shit! And it was tomatoes. And I was like, all right, so you got me to eat tomatoes in like a stewed form. Stewed tomatoes are weird, man.
I'm a big texture guy.
Okay.
Stewed tomatoes, eating a straight stewed tomato.
Are you disagreeing too?
I don't like it. Oh, fuck. I had to stop eating eggs for like 3 years at one point, dude.
Really?
I was like, while I was eating eggs, I was thinking about what they were and then the texture in my mouth or something, dude. And I was like, I had to stop.
Honestly, eggs have a weird smell.
Yeah, they do.
I'm being honest. I don't know if anyone else noticed. I think if they're cooked right, then you don't notice because you eat them really fast because they usually slide down your throat.
Right.
And that sounds kind of weird too. But they smell weird.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not gonna get on that tangent, man. So anyway,
bro, no, eggs are. I'm with you, dude. Let me ask you for real, personal questions.
Yes,
dude. So you guys started this company.
Yeah, man.
Do you think it's like brought you and your wife closer together? Have you guys fought a lot?
Man, you know what? This has been like one of the greatest things for us in our marriage, and our family, really. So we come from a really complex family background.
Explain it.
My wife, I'll start with myself. How about that? I'm not that close to my mom and dad for a lot of reasons. My wife, her mother passed away when she was 10 from, some complications, and I won't really get into that. She doesn't really know her biological father. She has a great stepdad. He lives in Indy. He used to come see us all the time, but he took ill, and he is in a nursing home now. So we go see him on a regular. That's like one of our family trips. So, we are very close-knit, our family. Like, we're super tight. I mean, the four of us.
Out of necessity, maybe.
Out of necessity, man. I mean, I have my grandmother, which is my dad's mom. Again, complex story. She's like my number one fan. And I, she's 90, she'll be 91 this year. And she used to keep my 9-year-old in the daytime when she was 80 years old. She used to babysit her for us. She did that for 4 years until she literally couldn't do it anymore.
Couldn't pick the kid up.
Couldn't do it, man. She's my number one fan. But that this business, it made us closer. Like you said, even more close, right? And we've always been close, but it's almost like a godsend, man. I'm not like a super religious dude. I believe in like the universe, like spirit, kind of signs and symbols like that. But this is a godsend for us, and we've been connected, man.
Yeah.
Like, we've been connecting, and things have been, I mean, you're a business dude, man, and I bet you have your own sense of spirituality, right?
For sure.
So we, because of it seems like the stars are aligning. How about that? It's the simplest way I can put it.
I get it. I'll think about like people say no matter how long, if you're like locked in a room, we're up here, right?
Yeah.
Like you're locked in a room praying for food.
Oh yeah.
God's not going to throw a sandwich through the window.
He's
right?
not.
You start going.
He's not, man.
You start going, doing some work for yourself.
Oh yeah.
And the way it seems like it's like opportunity through motion.
Dude, it's and that's what I believe. Again, it's a reminder. I come from a religious family. I grew up in the church, man.
Where at?
Here in St. Louis, I went to church on the south side for a little bit, a church called Rising Star. Then I transitioned to another church with my family over in the Baden area. The black church is interesting, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
Let me ask you about being black.
Dude, go.
Real quick, dude. Salsa. Black people. Have you thought of that?
Maybe.
Dude, I was like...
Maybe.
I was like, just straight up... when I was like, man, there's a family in the neighborhood selling salsa, right?
They
like
gotta be Mexican.
I'm like, they gotta be Hispanic, right? And I pull up.
We're like, yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
Dude.
Yo, what up? Hey.
But I was like, this is tight. And the salsa's flames.
Fire.
Yeah. But what? Black church, tell me.
Have you watched? I've been telling people about this, man. I'm not gonna critique it, but I'm naturally observant on a lot of stuff. And I can talk about it because I grew up there, man. I grew up in the black church. Come on, we live in America, dude. There's history behind like the church and for blacks, right? Have you seen the PBS special? It's literally called The Black Church.
I haven't.
The premise of the special was that the black church was both liberating and controversial in the black community in terms of our progress. Right?
Right.
Do you follow? Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
Some form of control, some form of division.
Absolutely.
Some form of hope.
All three.
Right.
And I grew up in that environment. 7 days a week I went to church. 7. When I think about how often I was in church, and I think about how little my family was able to focus on other things except from church. And when I understood that relationship growing up as an adult, I realized it gave me the reasons on why I wanted to exit the church.
Got it.
We were a middle class family in the 90s that didn't know how to manage money.
Did you tithe?
I think so.
Yeah.
But we were still poor. Dude, our house looked like shit when I was a kid. It was a shack, man.
Did you know then you were poor?
I always knew that there was something else. I'm serious. Like, I was always very observant, and I always knew that there was something else, man. I'm like, you know what? Wow. And now we have to get into the conversation about white versus black, right?
Go for it.
I mean, we live in St. Louis, dude.
Right.
One of the most conservative most divided cities in America. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
And you know where we live. We live in our neighborhood, right?
Right.
And I grew up.
We made it.
We made it, brother. I grew up in Walnut Park in North County. I grew up in Walnut Park and North County. I spent most of my time in Delwood, which looks like a war zone now.
Newhall's very West Florissant.
Boom.
Yeah.
I moved to Walnut Park as a teenager. Went to high school in SLPS. I don't have anything in my teeth, do I?
You're good, bro.
Okay, so make sure. Except my braces.
Yeah.
It's my second time having braces.
What happened?
I got braces as an adult because my parents, they didn't really have the money to pay for. Well, they could. That's another story, dude.
Woo, let's get up, dude.
All right, hold on. Walnut Park.
Walnut Park.
I moved there as a teenager, and I just looked around. That's the first time I ever got a car stolen in Walnut Park. My car, man, was stolen in front of my house. Mm-hmm. And you
left
know,
running or
nah, man,
broke down.
Just busted it, man.
Yeah.
I went to high school down in the city. Education was subpar. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the black experience in America, man. Mm-hmm. In relation to the black church, right? I mean, my family wasn't able to focus on building wealth and education and all the things that you need to continue a culture, right? Mm-hmm. To grow, to build. Like, we didn't do that, but we went to church nearly 7 days a week. I took a lot of heat and flack when I left the church.
Because they were scared for you or what?
I don't know, man. No, they thought I was like the devil or something.
I get that.
Like, I wanted to, like, it was like, you want to build wealth, and it's not about that. Like, God is, you need to follow God. I'm like, I do follow God. Like, I believe that there is a God.
Yeah.
But I also know that I need to build myself from an economic standpoint. I need to educate myself. I need to read books. I need to do all these things, man.
From their view, God was the source and the provider.
And that's it. I didn't need an education. Only education in the Bible and God. That's the only education that is is sort of propagated within. And I'm not saying church as a whole, right? There's pockets, right? There's clusters of the black church that differ from other experiences in the church, right? Like, if that makes any sense. There's different cultures, right? There's different cultures even within the church itself. And I just happen to end up in that sort of, old mentality of, like, religion.
When I was a kid, I was a minority in the church that we went to.
Wow.
So I'm familiar with the church.
Is it like a white church?
No, it's black church.
Get out of here, man.
Dude. Yeah, no, and
So that's why you asked me about it. So everything I'm saying is pretty spot on.
For sure.
Good.
Yes, and I like the. What do you think? Whatever. I'm not going to say what I think.
No,
I hear,
I want to know what you think.
No, for
so
sure.
I don't have to be alone, man.
No, I bristle, right? I'm like, ugh. When I hear people say, especially people in positions of authority, black leaders, right?
Excuse me. Yeah.
And I think about that. I'm like, are there white leaders, or like, do all white people come together and say, this is the guy we listen to, right? I was like, it's this weird bullshit sense of like control, like, oh, we're talking to the black leaders, like
it is. One time, one time somebody very close to me and my family, I'm not gonna,
you're good,
say specifically. One time, somebody very close to me just told me that because I wasn't in the church, I wasn't a good person or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, that's astounding, right? I mean, I've seen some bad apples like talk about church and go to church and like, dude, some of the worst people are constantly talking about like church and God.
I feel that.
Okay.
Dude, I'll be strict. Dude,
I was trying to hide a little bit so they wouldn't see me.
I'll go as far as saying this, dude, and I don't care. And this is me personally. And this is my experience, right?
Yeah.
I was in a church just like that.
Yeah,
right?
man.
I went out to eat several years ago.
Yeah.
And some of these things I just locked away. Dude, this lady's waiting on me, and she was like, "What is your? I know you." And I was like, "Man, I feel like I know you." Anyways, she ends up saying like, "Who's your brother?" I say his name. And she's like, "Oh my God, we went to that church together, right?" And I was like, I was like, "Man, I have some fond memories of that place."
Yeah.
She's like, "Not me."
Ooh.
And I was like, "Really? What happened or something?" And she's like, "I was molested for a long time there." And dude, and I was like this. I was like, Me Too.
Oh, man.
And I didn't know it. You know what I mean? It was like I had locked that away. Dude. But it was like some people in positions of power in that place.
It's traumatic.
Dude, there was this book that I read. So to be fair, man, like there's so many good things that come from that for so many good people.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
But people are people. And I think that growing up, we look to those people as like they are the truth.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
We did, man.
I read this book called Meeting Jesus Again for the First Time. And it was like, man, like with everything else, with the way that I like interact with people, the way that I like am romantic, the way I do business, work out, whatever. All that stuff grew, but for so many people, their understanding of God and their relationship with like whatever their higher power is, stayed childlike.
Yeah, that's amazing. What's the name of that book again?
Meeting Jesus Again for the first time or something.
Wow.
Somebody was just like, because I got told the same shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you're bad. And I'm like, man, maybe that's what's missing in me. So I read this thing, dude, and I was like, I get it. That's cool. But no, like, I'm a good dude.
Yeah. I'm a great dude. Honestly.
You are.
And you are too. And you know, and this is not, I think I want to be very clear. This is not making the statement that church is bad.
Period.
That's not what I'm saying.
I don't take it that way.
People will stop, they will stop at my comment 7 minutes ago and say, I knew that guy was an anti. No, I'm not, man. Like you said, people are people, dude. And there's bad apples everywhere. I think that I chose and I got judged for this from various sides. Now, people accept me for what it is now, right? Because I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with you about me and the choices that I make, right? And I think everybody should adopt that mentality. See, that's the problem. People care too much about what people think.
Let's talk about problems.
Dude.
What do you think? So, talk more about that, but I want to know, what do you think of St. Louis? What's problems? What's good?
There are, man, St. Louis has history, man. And, you know, I think that see, this goes back to the church again. I didn't get a chance enough to experience what St. Louis had to offer, right, as a youth. So it almost seems like you said, meeting Jesus for the first time. I'm meeting St. Louis for the first time, right? Doing business, right? I mean, I went to school, so I grew up. That's another thing about us blacks. We tend to stay in our little cluster, man. St. Louis designed it that way. Just FYI, if you didn't know that.
No, redlining.
St. Louis designed it that way, man, for blacks to stay siloed. And now they're kind of doing it again with gentrification, but I also think that the city is working to become more diverse, right? I mean, okay, we just got a black mayor, you know, in the city of St. Louis. I hope that's a good thing, right? I hope that's a great thing. Like, yeah, representation is dope, but we really need to bring a change in mindset for the black community in St. Louis. There's a lot of opportunity here because it's being created. And I think the only bad thing is that black people are still not sitting at the right table sometimes.
Not invited or not going?
Both.
Yeah.
You know, it's about accountability, man. I mean, granted, like I said, I'm not going to flee away from the statement that St. Louis is one of the most conservative places in America, because it is. Economically, socioeconomically, I mean, we can go down the list, man. Our neighborhoods are you know, the demographics, right? You can, statistically, you can see it on paper. But yeah, both. Not invited, not showing up. Again, I grew up in North County. I didn't know what West County was, right?
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not lying.
Dude.
I'm serious. Like, what's Frontenac? What the hell is that? Oh, that's the only landmark that I knew about Frontenac was Frontenac Plaza, whatever that place is called.
Yes.
I've only been there
Plaza
one time.
Frontenac.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've only shopped there one time. My money doesn't stretch that far, man. One day.
Not yet. Yes.
Not yet, man.
Yeah, you'll be able to buy that mall.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's not that I can't buy something in there, but I like to spend my money wisely.
No, there's a cool thing about St. Louis, and I think that this is tight. There's a few things. Like, there's a lot of people that have a lot of money here.
Oh, dude.
Right?
Did you know that Huntley was one of the
richest zip codes in the United States of America? Period. Right? Not a lot of people there. Super concentration of wealth.
The CEO of Carnival lives there.
Cruise lines?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, one time
I just learned that a week ago.
Dude, I'll tell you, once I went to a party.
I hope I can say that out loud. But anyway.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. I went to a party. I'm like, whatever, we're like really good on time. I like this vibe, whatever.
No, yes.
Dude, I went to a party, so I grew up like.
How much time do we have left?
15 minutes or so. Yeah, we're low income housing. I lived in, right? Single mom. And I got invited, a friend of a friend. We went to a party in Huntley, right?
I didn't even know what that was as a kid.
Had no idea.
I just want to put it out there.
Dude, I showed up. I'm probably like 18, 19 years old, dude. My grill's fucked up from like fighting, dude. I ended up going to get braces. I finally got some money, dude.
Yeah, man.
I finally got some money. I'm like, bro, I'm getting braces. And I just, whatever. I end up going to the dude to get fixed. And he was like, I'll give you braces, dude. And then in like 2 years, you're going to have straight, ugly teeth. And he was like, why don't you just get some caps? So I just got veneers. Anyways, dude, I go to this party. I'm sitting in this, I go to this house. The house looks like a shopping mall, dude. I was like, unbelievable.
It's crazy.
We're swimming in November.
It's crazy.
Swimming in November and they're like, we're going to a swim party. I was like, dude, it's November. And he's like, they got a heated saltwater pool. And I didn't even understand the words he was saying. I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
A heated what? A saltwater pool?
A heated saltwater pool. I didn't know what the hell that was.
The pool I go to is at the Y. Okay?
Right, dude. There's oil on the top of it. Dude, and he says, we go to this house. Man. We go to this house, dude. Man, some of this I'm going to keep private, but something happened. Dude, we go to this house, we're kicking it. I end up being alone with this dude in the hot tub, right? And I was just like, I was embarrassed. It felt like just like this white trash kid. And I was like, dude, what do your neighbors do? I didn't even know how to talk to this dude. He's like, what do your neighbors do? And he's like, those are the Bushes. I was like, who's that? And he was like, Bush Beer. And I said, those are people? I didn't know that people's last names were the names of companies.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Dude, I was like, so what do you guys own? Because I was like, I've always been observant. Like, I'm not good in school. Yeah. I'm sharp, and I notice what's happening.
Yeah. And that's 75% of the battle. Just being present and showing up.
Yes.
Paying attention, man.
Caring.
But go ahead.
Yeah. Dude, he said, my family owns XYZ. My mom...
Dude...
worked in a warehouse. We lived in low-income housing.
Of course, man.
Worked in a warehouse for these people. One of the owners of that company.
You didn't even know it.
Took advantage of my mom.
Wow.
Right? And I was like, yo, where's your dad at? Because I was like, he must have been the guy that did it.
Wow.
Anyways, I was like, long story short. But anyways, I didn't know that until then, dude. So I think some of these things you're talking about, dude, like invitation, opportunity, and then in general exposure. How the fuck have we grown up here and there's all these things happening around?
Oh, yeah.
And there's certain people, and sometimes, man, like socioeconomically, whatever, I'm not black, so I can't say that, but like more siloed that way.
Right.
Right? Like, how did I grow up close to that?
Yeah.
A mile, 2 miles, 3 miles as a crow flies.
It was designed that way. Again, and this is my third time saying it, St. Louis is one of the most conservative cities in the United States, racially, socioeconomic. All right, first of all, my major in college, I have an econ degree, all right? I went to college, I had no freaking clue what that was, what economics was, all right? I graduated from a St. Louis public school with a subpar education. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I struggled in mathematics when I got to college because I didn't learn calculus. The calculus I needed to know to be an econ student, I didn't learn that shit.
Yeah.
You know, my wife, I'll tell you about her, man. I try to tell her how fortunate she is, even though her mother passed and she didn't grow up with any parents. Her grandmother raised her, rest in peace. She was an awesome person. I can go on. Dude, we need like an hour later on, but we'll get back on here.
Right
on. She was a DSEG kid. DSEG. Has anybody stopped to understand what the fuck DSEG stands for? Literally, it's called desegregation. In St. Louis, the DSEG program existed to literally bus, little Negro children out into suburbs to get a quality education.
Right.
My wife had an opportunity to go to Parkway, right? Parkway North or Central. There we go. Parkway Central. She was learning, calculus in high school, and I was skating by learning pre-algebra when I graduated. So when I got to college, dude, I struggled, man.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about the black experience, right? Like, so if we talk about, St. Louis, if you look at all, it's just a mixture of it's probably like the poster child of like America. All in one city, man. And a lot of places are like this. I think that's another problem that people, like, I have come to really enjoy St. Louis, right? I was one of those people who's like, I want to move away.
Yeah.
And why? A lot of people say that because they don't see opportunity here, especially if you're a minority, right? The problem with that mentality is that means we never pour back into our community. We just abandon it and leave it behind and go to places where we feel like it's easier for us to accomplish things. Like you said, St. Louis, the good part is there are people here to connect to, man.
Yeah.
Dude, there is so, come on, man. We got several industries here who have their headquarters, right? We have, the Cardinals, which are one of the most elite baseball teams.
Square, which is taking huge leaps and bounds.
Come on, man. Like,
right?
Dude,
something really tight about them. I don't know if a lot of people know this, dude.
Go ahead.
Their headquarters,
yeah,
the side is glass and it faces north.
That's super dope.
They said, why? They spent a ton of money doing that.
Fuck.
And he said, we turned our backs on the north side. We're going to look that way. I
hope you'll see this square. I'm applauding you for that shit, man. Thank you. I knew you had one of those. So I was just waiting on the moment.
You're successful, right? In many rights.
Getting there, I hope.
Yeah.
I
think we're fortunate, right?
That's what I'll say.
What do you think? So why you?
I've always been different, man. I was talking to another guy about this. Now, I genuinely think I've always been. Think back what I said before when I was within the church, within my family, within, my wife sometimes thinks that my family.
Radical? Yeah.
And it's not that I was telling a friend this. It's not that I don't want to be close to my family. Sometimes my family, my immediate circle, they just don't understand me and my past. And it's just as simple as saying, I want to build wealth.
Right.
I want to be successful. I want to grow in my mind. I want to be knowledgeable. I want to be kind and friendly and caring. And I went through like transitions trying to get there. I think the one of the most this is an underdeveloped thought, but I'll give it a shot. Once you begin to like become who you were meant to be, dude, life changes, man.
Yeah.
As long as you're being into spaces where you probably shouldn't be, your life will be miserable as fuck.
Trying to be someone you're not, you mean?
That's it, man.
Right.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, no, I was thinking you said force yourself into spaces that you're not meant to be. You mean
meant to be in, I mean. Like forcing yourself into spaces that your being wasn't intended for.
Got it. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we all
my path, not this room, not that business.
Man, and that's the thing that, that's why growing up in church, I used to be a judgmental dude and I shouldn't have been.
Of who?
Just of sinners.
I feel that.
Right? We're talking about church again.
Right.
And I had, this was like 10 years in the making of me being able to, I left that environment probably like, I started to leave that environment like 2007, right? Around the time my parents were divorced. That's had a lot to do with it.
Real quick,
I'll
dude.
leave it there.
Did you judge them for that? That's a big tenet, right? Like,
it hurt.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, this is, we were close as a family, right? When I was younger, but as a teenager, a lot of things became clear to me, man, about what was not right with our family. I don't want to use the word wrong. So what could have improved, right? Or let's use the word what we could have looked at as an opportunity for improvement. And not even like I was a kid, man. I was following my parents. But they, my mom grew up without a dad. My dad grew up without a dad. My dad was like you. He grew up in a single parent home, man. Mm-hmm. My mom grew up in poverty. My dad, I mean, dude, the why me? Who knows, man? Mm-hmm. Did I? Oh no, we're going back to did I judge my parents?
No, you're good. I was like,
did I judge them?
From that lens.
No, you know what? From
the center lens.
It was a lot to take in because my parents went through a really, honestly, a very. It was traumatic, dude. It was it was by all accounts your cliche messy divorce.
Got it.
Oh man, it was nasty.
Fighting over everything.
Dude, I was in college when my parents got divorced, but it still hurt. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a good one, man. Yeah. So that catapulted me into this new frame of thinking. And I guess first what did it is me starting school. Like I went to Webster University. Mm-hmm. That's where I started at. I graduated from UMSL. But when I went to Webster, that is the moment where I began to realize that the world was bigger than me living in Walnut Park.
Right.
You want to know why? Because Webster was probably one of the first universities to have this like huge global presence, right? So students are constantly coming and going from different countries. And I'm sitting here, sitting across from people who live in Bangladesh and people who live in Peru, and they're coming in here just to take biology and go back home or some shit.
Yes.
Dude, that gave me so much perspective, man. For a person who always wanted to know more, right? Mm-hmm. Now I finally had it sitting right next to me, right? Like, holy crap, so that again is what changed my thinking. So by the time that traumatic experience came with my parents, I was already in transition.
Yeah.
Right? From in my frame of mind. Now I'm human, so naturally I was impacted by it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, my parents, I grew up looking at their marriage. Their marriage wasn't fantastic, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of things could have been different. Did I judge them? I understood why they needed to separate. Mm-hmm. I did. And it probably, some intervention should have happened a long time ago with them, but they didn't have any leadership. We're talking about the church again, right? Right. I'm not going to implicate anything in this saga, but what I'm saying is they needed some assistance well beyond our daily schedule.
Do you mind if I make a comment on that?
Go for it.
Dude, I think about, so if that's the culture you're in,
yes,
and you subscribe to nothing else, and I'm not going to say blindly like in a long way, but this is the only thing you follow.
Yes.
And the way you feel or the things you're going through are looked down upon, how can you bring that to people, right? I think that with like the cliques we're in, the politics we follow, the way we see the city, is that if I am all in on this way, and I never check my thinking with anything else out here.
Yeah, you can't see the other side, man.
You never can.
Ever.
And you talked about, and I was thinking about like you had this little bit of exposure to like people who do it a different way.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, it doesn't have to be this way, right?
I've been called. See, I think that people judge me more than I judge them, right?
Okay.
I say that because I've been called arrogant. I've been called know-it-all. I've been called all the bougie. I mean, come on, we know what bougie in the black community means, right? You think you're better. I come from, I made a status about this the other day. Social media is weird to me, by the way. Mm-hmm. We do it, and I've gotten back into it because of Jack Salsa.
Right.
But I've come to enjoy it because it's a platform, man. Mm-hmm. But I don't come from wealth. Mm-hmm. I come from, I'm a first gen college grad, man. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
right?
You should be.
Why wouldn't I?
Right.
I keep a good credit score. Mm-hmm. I don't have millions of dollars sitting to the side, man. Dude, I'm building, right? And we know, see, that's the thing about the generation part, right? Like somebody who is living over there in Huntley started out with somebody who didn't have shit. And yeah, we're talking about too in America, right? Of course, whites, blacks, they've been building that shit for, decades, centuries, man, generations. But like when people look at me, you know, it's like, oh, you know, wow, you made it, you got it, you know. But then you got the nays. Oh, you think no, I don't, man. I love my path. I love my journey. I want to be enlightened. I want to meet people like you and have these very conversations, dude. I can talk to anybody, literally. Yes. I can talk to anybody. I picked up a person because they asked me to take them to the bus stop in our neighborhood.
Okay.
And I didn't know that person. And they yelled across the street as I was driving down Clayton Road and said, hey, can you take me to the bus stop? And I was like, They could, you know, shoot me, stab me, whatever, take my car. I was like, fuck it.
Did they look like you?
I think so.
No, I'm saying, was it a black person? You don't know?
I think it was a minority. I don't know if they were black. That's why I said I think so.
Got it.
It wasn't a white person.
Right.
And she, okay, was kind of like scatterbrained. And I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, I was on my way to the gym. And she's like, can you take me across to Ballas to the bus portal? And I'm like, oh, okay, what? Sure, come on. Yeah. You know, and that's the honestly the kind of person I am. Like, I'm not, dude, I love people. I swear I do. Like, yes. I love, people are awesome, man. And you learn stuff from people.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, dude.
I've been wanting to have this type of conversation for years.
No, so many things. One, I'll tell you about giving people rides because I do that all the time. Two things, dude.
I don't feel so bad then.
Dude, but three things. And then I think we got to wrap it up. I want to like say some stuff and then let you like say whatever you want to say.
Come on. You don't feel like I'm talking too much, do you?
This is tight. I shouldn't be talking much. Right? I'm not the one getting interviewed. Like, people know something about me, but I want to say this, and I want to say this like with you and talk about it real quick.
Okay, good.
Dude, so I had to start checking like you talk about prejudice and judging people and stuff like that, right?
We all have it.
Dude, at Strange Donuts when we first started, right? Like, there's all these people like from like all different backgrounds. Yeah. And I don't even know like the correct word of like orientation, or I don't know what that's called anymore.
Who cares?
Right? I love you and I don't care.
Labels, man.
Right.
I
Whoever, there's these people.
Seriously.
Somebody from in my family's super religious, right? And they were like, this person from my spot is really good at baking. And I was like, I don't think they'd fit here. Is what I say, right? So, dude, I denied this person an interview based on their religion. Yeah. But because they were like me, it was easy for me to be like, boom. Yeah. Dude, especially when it's cold, anywhere when I'm driving home, if I see especially an older person, it's usually like a older person of color. I'm like, right, hop in. Come on. Like, let's go. Yeah. And I'm like, they need some help. Right? I've been thinking about this a bunch this past week. I'm like, I'm glad you brought this up.
Affirmation, man.
Dude.
I believe in it.
You attract it.
That's right.
Dude, so I'll pick up the older black gentleman.
Or is it confirmation? Okay, go ahead.
Attraction.
Who cares? Whatever, man.
If it was like a white person, I would be like, I'm not picking them up. They did something wrong to be here. And I've had to really sit with that and think like, what is that?
Oh, man.
How am I like?
No.
I think that I'm like open and loving. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But you still have these like things
these weird silos where I judge people, and more than that, I judge like my own.
I know.
Right?
I got you.
Dude, I was thinking about that. But
that's the thing about, I tell you, the one thing that people need to have true growth, right, in themselves is you gotta take yourself apart first. Mm-hmm. I'm serious, man. Like so right now I'm reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Right.
This book is amazing. Mm-hmm. This book came out a year after I was born, right? The original version in 89. Oh, 87. I'm 34. I'll be 34 this year. I think like, man, what if, I don't like to speak in what ifs, right? But like, what if I had read that book 10 years ago?
You might not have been ready for it.
And that's what my wife and I talked about all the time, you know, and that's why I actually had that conversation with a good friend yesterday. You know, the reason that we didn't do whatever we're doing now 10 years ago, whatever, is because that it wasn't our time. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, man, who knows? I can't say. That book is life-changing, by the way. It talks about, like, basically inner and outward growth, right? Not the other way around.
Right.
Like you
Fix
can't.
yourself first.
That's right. Yeah. Like you can't, go like, I don't know, buy a house before you fix your credit. If you think about that, right? That's probably like a good, kind of way to put it. Now we're talking about self. Like in order to project what I am projecting now for sure, dude, I had to like take a look inside, man.
When you start doing that, you start saying stuff out loud and you're like, oh shit, I don't believe that anymore.
Yes. Oh, we all have biases, man. Yes, the church, my family, my even in the black community, man, the social strata within blacks is all over the place. You got black people who think that they're better than other black people. When as a culture, as a race, as an entire black community, dude, we gotta build up, man. But it's because we're so segregated from within.
I think that we think that about us.
Oh yeah.
Dude, when I lived in China, there's like,
it's everywhere.
These people over here.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I agree. It's easier to say it because we live in America. Yeah, I think that's me, man.
You? Right.
We live in America, right? So, and we understand the contrast of black and white in America, right? And therefore, it is easier to pick apart. But you're right. It's a cultural issue, like across culture, not just black people.
Yeah, dude. Well, I love you, man.
Yeah, man.
Dude.
I love you too, man. No, it's you know what you told me that. Like, he's like, man, love you on my IG one time. And I was like, what the fuck?
Is this dude trying to hit? I'm not.
I don't know, I'm a cool guy,
man. Dude, telling you like, man.
No, man. I again, that's a part of my process. I had to think like, wow, this guy just said he loves me, man.
You know why I say that,
and
dude?
that's genuine. That's why you say it.
I love us. Right?
Yeah, man.
And I love and I'm hopeful for us. And when I say us, I mean me and you.
Yeah.
I mean St. Louis. I mean the United States.
It's a great city, man.
Man, I love us.
It's a great city.
Is there stuff to work on? Is there stuff that we have to process? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to end is like, what do you think, like, quickly?
You're like, hurry up, man.
No. Where do we do better?
Say it again?
Where do we do better as a city?
Where do we do better? Give me some guidance.
Where, how? Like, what do you think?
How? All right, got you. Man, you know what? I think that it's really just working on just almost rewriting the narrative about our biases, man. It's a tough question to answer because I think that it's going to take some responsibility and accountability on all fronts, right? All people, right? Like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, the city has to almost merge itself and sort of mix and blend. You know, when I think about, and I'll try to answer this as quickly as I can. When I think about when I growing up in Delwood and the way that it looked like before I moved in, which was a lot of white people. And by the time I moved out, and the way it looks now, dude, that tells me that, St. Louis is still not working to address the issues that plagued St. Louis many decades ago, right? Think about white flight, right? And people left the city in droves and left the city to black people. Pretty much North St. Louis, parts of South St. Louis, right? And now it's coming back. Like, I mean, yeah, the city looks amazing now. All the construction and the soccer stadium that's coming along,
right?
But it has to, we have to pull up more chairs at these tables, man. And if I go back to one of your original points, is it about being invited or not? Volunteering to sit down, and both of those things have to happen. Like we gotta start having more conversations with people and stop writing policies and thinking for people, right? I think that, dude, talk to people and ask them what the fuck they think.
Amen. Yeah, dude.
I probably could have said that first, and I could have just dropped the mic. Do you have a mic drop thing on there? Like
we have no, I got a womp, I got a laugh, I got applause, I got
but it didn't work.
Yeah, you can just drop the mic.
Okay. We gotta ask people what they think. And this whole conversation that we've been talking about siloed and perspective, the only way we're gonna know about how to change something is learn what the problem is first. And I can't guess what your problems are, like a lot of people have a tendency to do, right? You gotta tell me, and I have to listen to you. So maybe that's what it is to help grow this city, is people listening. I mean, seriously, listening. It sounds like such a simple concept, but dude,
that's why we did this.
Boom.
Period.
Right. I love it, man. Dude. Can we get the applause?
Bow.
Okay, all right.
I'm tired of people saying, what's going on in the city? And they talk to the same 10, 15 people,
it's
bro.
Like, well, here's some of the issues.
Yeah, here from my
statistically.
Right. Shut the fuck up. So they buy more bread from you. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, anyways.
Statistically speaking.
Dude, I'll say this. You're an econ major, so
Yes.
you'll understand this, man.
Yeah.
People respond to incentives. The basic
For
of
sure.
economics, right?
Absolutely.
Let's get some incentive going.
Indeed, man.
Dude, I really appreciate you being on, brother.
When are we coming back?
We'll do it again. I want to have you at the store, and we'll do an interview with friends.
I love this, man.
This is tight.
All right, bud.
I appreciate it, brother.
For sure.
Be good.
Yeah, man.